Hello there, and welcome to the War Factory for today, October the 17th. We are starting off with some AZ action right up the middle. Yeah, okay. Middle of the smokes, we can work with this. So, I gathered everything up, and I was really worried about the range on that shock launcher. So I waited for the very last second, flared onto the rocket launcher that I wanted to really take out, and then wham, let my troops kind of do their thing from here. I let the one-offs take their shots and do whatever damage they could because, well, frankly, I didn't care. And then with all my leftover GBE, I just tossed it at this rocket launcher and blew it TFO? TFU. Blew it TFU. Which stands for really good. And then I just kind of started going up the right-hand side. Admittedly, I don't know how. Lately, I've noticed my Zookas doing that, where like they roam way too close to flamethrowers. I know the Zookas are able to outrange flamethrowers, and yet for some reason, they always end up right on top of it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I lost more than I cared to, but honestly, I only had one last target for this attack, which was this shock launcher right here. So I got up into range and I threw down some stunnage on the boom cannon, just because the boom cannon seemed to be ridiculous with the killing of all the things, and I was like, well, you know, I might as well, I guess, just kind of blow up this and see what happens. But unfortunately, before I was able to really get too far, the other prototype popped up, the old hot pot, jumped out, and just anyways, moving on to the next attack before I cry. Okay. Oh, there we go. I'll be okay. Yeah, the hot pot still makes me cry every time it jumps out and burns me right in the keister. So, second attack, clearing up the right-hand side, because at this point, you know, basically, boom cannons, and a doom cannon, like, all single shots, just throwing down some critters. There is a grappler kind of grabbing... aptly named. Grabbing a few Zookas here and there, but that's okay. This whole point of this attack is to open things up, and open things up. Most certainly it did. As you can see, I went hard right, because of course I want to take out those extra flamethrowers right there that are going to be behind me. If I take those out, that's an extra shock I save, which, you know, for me is kind of key. Unfortunately, the machine guns down in the south did start to kind of jump out and do some bad things, and again, my Zookas were just getting too close to the stupid flamethrowers. I don't know. Aggravating. Anyways, so at this point I realized, wow, things are going really well. I'm just going to flare up to the core and see what kind of damage. And right there, those two mines. Those mines, make sure you throw an artillery at those mines before you drag your troops across. I'm pretty sure I lost about 3/4 of my troops during that walk, and like, I got the energy. I could have shocked everything. I could have pulled it off. Admittedly, when I had lost that many troops, I was busy trying to add up how many troops I had. And it was actually well over 3/4 of my troops. And I was just like, so my shocks were late, but it didn't matter. By then, damage had already been done. But that's okay. Landing the cleanup crew, I guess, the sweep-up crew, to kind of come in here and just kick the poop out of what remains of this base. Everything is wide frickin' open. Just a couple of flares to get myself into the right position. And I even took out the mortar just so that I could drop the shock slightly differently and get other defenses, rather than having to get the mortar and the flamethrowers. I can get, you know, the flamethrowers and boom cannons, or, you know, I'm open for possibilities, and since I had all the extra GB at the end of the last attack, and no troops, I might as well, right? Anyways, thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully this has been helpful, hopefully this has been entertaining, and most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day taking down the War Factory. Boom.